What is going on, guys? Reseller time. We are live once again. Today, we are talking about how to get over and how to have a breakthrough, how to get rid of slow sales. That is what today's live is all about. And if that is something you're interested in, let me know down below. If you have any questions regarding sales, any questions at all, that's what I'm here for, to help you guys get to the next level. We're going to talk about my story really, really fast, getting into reselling, all the obstacles, all the issues that I faced going in, and then basically what I'm facing now, issues I'm facing now, what I am doing currently to get over slow sales, get over summer slowdown, what I'm putting into my store, my strategy going into the fall and winter period. And so if that is something you're interested in, let me know down below what you guys are focused on for Q4. What are you sourcing? What's your intention? What's your goal? What's your financial goal? And yeah, we're going to get straight into it right now. So I just hit my first year in reselling, last week. And when I first started, I had no clue what I was doing. It was a weird time in my life when one of my businesses wasn't doing the best. There was updates, like algorithm updates happened within my Instagram business to where it wasn't really worth it, wasn't providing value for my clients. So I was like, you know what, really need to figure out something new. And so it was super weird. I went to like my first thrift store in Los Angeles, and I actually was just like, I'm not even sure why I went in there. And it wasn't even to like resell or anything like that. Maybe it was to buy clothes. Yeah, maybe it was just to buy clothes or something. I kind of forget, but I found like these express pants. Well, obviously that's why I was there, right? So I found like these express dress pants, and I just like decided just to look it up. I'm like, how much are these like slacks? Like, how much are these things? And I saw that they were going for like $65. So I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I got these for like $4 at a thrift store, and I could like sell these online for like $60. And I was obviously looking at them brand new. I wasn't looking at express slacks used because they won't even sell for like $10. But that kind of like planted the seed because I was doing like sales, online marketing, all that stuff. And so when I saw that these express pants were going for $60 online, brand new, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So like, maybe I could start like some type of reselling business just on the side. And during that time, I was also doing like OfferUp, right? So I was just like flipping things on OfferUp because LA is pretty expensive, right? And rent is pretty expensive. And so at the time, like a year ago, I was like, okay, I have a bunch of stuff like laying in my apartment. Let me just sell some stuff on OfferUp. And OfferUp's honestly really good. And I actually recommend most new people, like if you're brand new and you are really strapped for cash and you really need to flip stuff fast, I actually recommend OfferUp for like brand new people. And it's just like sell the stuff in your house. Like technology sells really well. Like I sold like old Macs. I sold like a MacBook computer that like was just old. It was kind of slow, but like I just listed it for like $200 or something, and I got like a sale within like 5 days of listing it. And so that kind of like sparked the seed. I'm like, wow, like this is pretty easy, especially in LA. I mean, pretty much no matter where you are, you can sell anywhere, you can flip stuff. But like, yeah, I just kind of started on OfferUp. I didn't list any clothes or anything. It was just like, I'm trying to remember what I sold. I think I sold headphones. It was just like technology stuff when I first did it, right? I sold a computer. I'm like, whoa, this like really works. And then I sold like one of my MacBooks for like $600, like a laptop. And it was like an older one. And I sold it for like $600. And they were like giving me cash. And I was doing like a bunch of cash deals when I first started. And I just was kind of like dabbling, right, with it. And basically like, I was like, whoa, like this is kind of crazy, right? And so I was like doing OfferUp, and then I was just like, all right, let's take this to the next level. Obviously, like there's a lot of clothes around me. And so I just started like going on YouTube, basically researching like different YouTube videos, right? Basically, like I'm trying to figure out when I decided to go all in on clothes. Because when I did eBay, I basically just went into clothes. Yeah, I sold like a PS4. I sold a camera. maybe like some video games when I first started, but it was pretty much clothing off the bat. And I probably saw like daily refinement on like maybe one of the first videos. I don't think he was the very first person that I saw, but he made a video and he was like, how I became a millionaire reselling. And I guess that caught my attention, how it kind of catches most people's attention because that's such a huge claim. And I'm like, wow, like if this person can do it, I can probably do it. And there's a bunch of thrift stores in LA. There's like Melrose, tons of clothing, tons of thrift stores. I'm like, maybe I could do something with it. And like at the time I was doing sales, I wasn't doing like terrible. I still had my software business, which was bringing in some money, but I was just like, I really want to like scale a business and like make money while I'm sleeping. And I would say like my main motivation with like most people won't admit it, but we're pretty much in this for like making money, creating cash flow. Reselling clothing is not the end game. Pretty much, if you're listening right now, let me know, what is your end game? Like, this is a live broadcast. You guys have me in the live. If you're watching this right now, make sure you smash the like button. It's going to help get this broadcast to way more people, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. But what was I saying? Yeah. So like pretty much like I started really like going deeper into YouTube, and for some reason I just always gravitated towards clothing for some reason. And so I was just doing like the thrift stores, but I had no clue what I was doing. I was like going in, spending like $230 in like just like a Goodwill, just a normal Goodwill thrift store. I wasn't even like where everything was overpriced. And I think, yeah, like the first time I went to one where I was like actually had the intention to resell, I spent like $230 on a bunch of crap. Some of it I actually sold on OfferUp and got some pretty good money on OfferUp in LA. And like I think I got like you can really like eBay, you can't really charge up on eBay, but like on these other like platforms you can really charge more and get more. So when I first started on OfferUp, I was getting like $50 for like Levi's jackets, and I was doing kind of good just selling just on OfferUp. I was getting way more money on OfferUp than I would have on eBay at the time. And I was like, this is pretty cool. And then I would get like little clients, right? So I would get like Polo Ralph Lauren shirts for like $5 at the thrift stores and sell them for like $25 a pop in person, cash. And like I had like this little client, and she would just come like every like 2 weeks, and I would just sell her like Ralph Lauren, like super basic like polo shirts that you would sell on eBay for like $5, right? But she would buy them for like $25 each. She would buy like 4 at a time. And so I was like, whoa, this is really, really cool. Like, this is awesome. And she was like a lawyer. She was super cool. I'm like, this is also a good way to make like connections and stuff. And she worked for like these like huge news networks. I think she worked for like Fox or something. And that's just like a little story, right? When I first started just doing my little business on OfferUp, I didn't have this set up at all. I was actually just laying all my clothes. Like, I think I started, because I have a closet right here. I think I started with just like filling up my closet. I have like quad, like little like storage, like little storage things in my closet. I have racks, obviously. And then I have things where I can just like lay it and stack it on top of each other. And so I kind of like maxed out that closet space, and then I started laying, because I have a 2-bedroom, so I started just laying things on my bed. It was like the worst inventory system ever. It was so bad. And I had like 1,000 items in my closet, and then I started getting like 1,000 items that I just placed on my bed, stacked up. It wasn't even like a bin system. I was so cheap at the time. Like, I didn't buy any storage, like anything. And so I would like separate it. I would have like polos stacked up on each other. I would have button ups stacked up on each other. I would have jeans stacked up on each other, long sleeves. And maybe like I had the jackets like hanging on like a rack and stuff. But whenever I would get a sale, I would basically have to just look through the stack of clothing to try to find like what print it was or what color it was. And I would have to like pull it out. And it was just the worst inventory system ever. It was really, really bad. And like at one point, one of like, they were probably like 3 or 4 feet tall. Like each stack had like maybe 200 items on it. And so I had like 1,000 items just on this queen size bed, just stacked up. And so I would have to like take some clothes off, pull the one, put all the clothes back on. Like it was so bad. And then obviously I transitioned eventually into this right here, which is the best ever. If you're not doing that, it's the best. So yeah, transferring everything over to this took like a month. It was a disaster. And that's why you just want to do things the right way. But this broadcast is basically how to make way more money. But that was kind of just my story. If you're just tuning in right now, you can replay it later on. But that was basically my whole story. And then I really started taking it seriously and I wanted to scale it. So I really started going all in on eBay. I was actually making really good money on OfferUp. There's no fees. It was just straight profit. Most of it is cash and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool. I didn't make like a bunch because obviously like my main business, my software business was really paying all the bills at the time. I was kind of just doing the clothing OfferUp thing on the side. And then I started trying to do more eBay stuff. And if you guys have any questions, if you want to chime in, let me know. If you have any questions regarding how to get more sales, slow sales, all that, that's what this broadcast is. That's what it is right now. We're talking about sales content. I'm going to get into it here shortly. Just wanted to give you guys my story, a little bit more of a background. But essentially, like I was a really sloppy reseller, extremely unorganized. I was like breaking my back. Like when you have a bunch of clothes stacked up on each other and it's just a mess, it's really, really bad. And so that was my inventory system, kind of just like going down and like seeing what color it was or what what like the print was. And I would have to like literally pull it out of the stack and put it in an envelope. And at the time I didn't have a Rolo. So I was like writing what the item was on my poly mailer. And then I would have to use QR codes one at a time at the post office. And so I would show them like one at a time. And like they hated me. They like did not like that. And so I literally had to show them one at a time the QR code at the post office for each item. And I would like mix some items up. It was just such a disaster, but you have to start somewhere. And, you know, I saw something today where it's like 95% of people fail in their first business. Like I've started many businesses and I've never failed one because I just don't quit and I make it work. Like as long as you don't quit, you're a student, you do whatever it takes and you learn and you try to learn from the top people, you will succeed pretty much every single time. Because if you surround yourself around really successful, highly motivated people, whether it's in person, like I've surrounded myself with like Bob Proctor, like in person, like at events, taking notes, watching him live. I started my whole career when I was 18. So like you're seeing this, like I started my career when I was still in Pennsylvania, small town. I lived on a farm with my family, amazing family, great time. In high school, which was a long time ago, I'm 27 years old now. I moved out here when I was like 20. So 7 years ago in California so far. I started my reselling for just 1 year. But when I was back in Pennsylvania, like 8 years ago, I was doing like video editing. I was doing website creation. I was just a hustler. I was doing whatever it took. Like I didn't care. I would make it happen. I would just get to work. I would learn the skills. I would surround myself around really successful people. I would surround myself around the top people. You can have online mentors. You can have physical mentors. You can have accountability partners. When I moved out to LA, I had some really good, I would room with like 7 people in one place in like a 2-bedroom, and rent was like $300 when I first came here. And then it was crazy because one by one, each month, someone like bailed because they couldn't afford it because LA is pretty expensive. So each month our rent got more expensive because we started with like 7 friends, like close friends. And like each month one would get picked off one at a time, right? And so it leveled me up. We held each other accountable. We started businesses and we held each other accountable. And so that's kind of like my story. And so yeah, now let's get into reselling. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Let me know if you have any issues, if you have any obstacles, and I will get to it right here. Hi, Revis. What's going up, boss? Hope you're doing incredible. Hi, Tom. I sold lambs and Ivy baby comforter today. Or yesterday I found at the bins for 30. I was happy about it. Nice. That's great. When listing, what section do you put the number online to help you find the item in a box behind you? So there's like when you look at like your listings. So if you go on eBay, you go to listings, I'll just show you right here. So it's called the SKU, and it's a section where you would put the SKU system in. So I'll show you right now. I'll share the screen for you. It's a lot easier than you think, because I was like hesitant to do this because I was like, I feel like I'm gonna get it wrong. I feel like I'm gonna mess it up. So let me share the screen with you just so you see exactly how I do it. All right. So right here, custom SKU. And if you don't see that, you could hit customize table and then just make sure it's selected. And where is it? Right here. And then with this, you can obviously move it up or down. I like to just keep it as close as possible, just so like I can see what the SKU number is. So when I get a sale or whatever, I can just see the SKU. So I like keeping the SKU right here. You can customize that obviously. And so yeah, you would just put the number in. And so when I had to start from scratch, I had to do everything one at a time. So like the sooner you can start doing this, the better. Because the last thing you want to do is have 2,000 items and then you start this. It'll take like a month to do everything because it's like one at a time. It's so bad. So yeah, it's still taking me time. I still have stuff in this closet that I'm slowly moving over. A lot of the stuff in my closet's really like slow moving items, low ASP. And so like I'm taking my time on it, but I'm trying to put all my great items in these boxes. So sometimes you just have to start over. If you don't have this and you just have to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I put 1 all the way in the back, and then it'll maybe come out to 30. So you'll see like 30 right here. And then the next box, you start all the way in the back, 31, all the way forward. It would be 60, and you just keep doing it. And then so consolidation is like maybe every single week you consolidate your inventory. And so basically what that looks like is, let's say this one's starting to get really empty. I'll pull all the ones in the very back starting at 31. So let's say this is like, it starts with 1, boom, here's 30 right here. Let's just say this was 30. 31 would be this one all the way in the back. And so let's say this one's really getting down really low. You would pull the 31 forward and you would place it right here. So then it would be 31, 32, 33. And then you would basically just keep doing that to consolidate your inventory. So hopefully that helps, because I was really confused with how that all worked when I first started. But when you start, you just have to start with 1. 1 goes all the way in the back, all the way out. You'll see 30, and then you just start with boxes and you just go all the way to 1,000,000. So if I sell 1, I never create a new SKU for 1. 1's gone, and you just go to 1 to infinity basically. And that way, if you get a return, you don't have to mix things up, right? So even if I get a return, I'll put a brand new SKU on it. I'm not going to go back to 1. I'm going to put a brand new SKU on it and just put it in the most recent things. And the idea is to basically consolidate as much as you can to free up boxes so you can put your new inventory, because these boxes just fit like 20 or 30 items, right? So every day, if I'm listing 20, I'm going to have to, get a new box. But if the thing is you want to go slow in the beginning. So where I'm at is like, you're listing 20, you're selling 20 per day. And so your business isn't really going down or going up. It's kind of staying like level. And so just go slowly, whether it's just 5 a day, 10 a day, 20 per day. It's so important that you have a consistent listing goal, because if you don't, then your sales are not going to be consistent. One day you will be super up, one day you'll be super down. When I'm like really consistent, my sales really stay like normal. They're not like, Yeah, one day may be a little bit lower. So let's say like 300's my like my median, right? Let's say like on average I make about 300 per day. That doesn't mean one day I'll hit like 230, right? $230 for the day. It sucks. But then one day I might hit 500. And so all that's really important is that you're listing consistently, and then eBay's kind of has your back. Like it's weird. Even if the day's like almost over, let's say it's 11 p.m., right? And I'm like at $200 and I'm like, God, today is such a bad day. What the heck is going on, eBay? All of a sudden they'll just give me a bunch of traffic before the hour ends, and I'll be like, damn, like I ended like at 290 or whatever. I'm like, within the last hour, all my sales just came in. It kind of sucks because like your mental health is kind of screwed. And this is one thing that I think we all as resellers should really focus on is our mental health, and not to get down and not to get so attached to how much we made for the day. We really just need to focus on what we're making for the week, what we're making on the month. Because if you're just focusing on the day, you're going to live a miserable life. And that's not the life that I chose, right? I want to live a day where I'm having the best day ever, where I'm not worried about how much I'm making on the day. As long as we do our end of the bargain, I think that eBay will have our back. And like I said, eBay is very, very easy if you just list really good items. Like if you just list really good items, if you just list good items, you're going to be doing great, right? So our main priority is listing good items. The days of list and forget it or list mid to low tier items is over. It's not the way of the future, and it really never was. And people are really, I can just tell for sure, because like I also do, like my brother kind of took over my old business, and I can just tell that people don't have the type of money they had during like 2020, 2021, 2022. Like people just don't have that money anymore. And so all these lower tier items, we're not going to be seeing that market, because that type of market, the type of person to buy those lower end items, they're like really struggling right now. So we have to put higher ASP items, high sell through rate items in our store, because we're attracting the type of wealthy people that exist right now. Because right now people are either really, really broke or super rich. The middle class really seems like right now they're really, really struggling pretty bad. And the gap is really the gap is crazy right now. Like I feel like the gap is more insane than it's ever been. Like people, like I said, are either doing really well or really, really bad. And if you're just making it, you're just getting over rent. I don't think that's good. I think that's bad. I think our goal should be to at least do double rent every single month, at least, at the minimum. If you're just getting by, if you're just hitting rent, that's not good. It's like an F, like on your report card. We should really be making a good amount of money. That way we can save that money and reinvest it down the line, and really save it for when we really, really need it. Because like if you're just going rent to rent and something happens, your car breaks down, you have a medical bill or something, like you need to make sure you have that. You have to really, really make sure that you have good cash flow. All right, let's get through these questions here. PGR, what's going on, boss? Hope you're doing great. I just got over 150 of free items today. That's amazing. What type of items are they? I got over $150 of free items today. Nice. What did you get? I averaged $400 the past week. Okay. How many are you listing per day? And what is your goal? PGR, the best way to do that job is to be a financially free aside. The best way to do that job is to be a financially free aside. Sorry, I'm kind of late on the chat, so I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to. Goofy Dumb, Goofy Blank was able to snipe about a dozen Mountain Hardwear jackets and coats for $10 to $15 last night. Looking forward to giving them a try. Not a brand I find in Michigan. That's awesome. Yeah, if you can snipe items on eBay, I think that you're in a good position. And like if the lockdowns happen again, like we need to be prepared for our sourcing strategies, because if we hit another lockdown, I'm going to be not happy at all. super rich buy on eBay. I mean, you never know. Like, there's books. I saw this interview, like this guy had a sale for $45,000 for a book collection. So, I mean, usually the super rich are going to have people buy it for them. So they'll, like Dana White doesn't buy his shoes. He just pays someone a salary just to do all the buying for him. So he's like, hey, I'll give you 100,000 a year. You just go out and buy like all the best shoes. Like, like that niche perfectly. Just buy me the best shoes. And then that person might be buying on eBay. I don't know. But there's for sure huge sales on eBay. And like, if someone's buying I sold, I mean, it's not that much, but it was like $200 puffer jacket like the other day. And like, if you're broke, you're not going to be buying that stuff. So I wouldn't say like the mega rich are buying it, but they may have assistants that are buying on eBay, or they might. I mean, I don't see why, if you had a lot of money, why you wouldn't buy it on eBay, because like a lot of these people might just be searching something on Google and then an eBay listing pops up and they're like, whoa, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I don't care if it's on Etsy, Poshmark, or eBay. I want it. Just because it's eBay doesn't mean that a super rich person wouldn't buy on eBay. PGR, you have to make it good enough that when you buy food, you don't need to look at how much it costs. Yeah, like, we should all strive to the point where we go into a restaurant and we're like, we don't even have to look at the price. Like, we don't even have to care about how much the dinner was. Like, that's where our goal should be. And that's, freedom. Like, the reason why I'm doing eBay, and I don't want to give you like some BS answer where I'm like, I just love like providing the best clothing for people. Like, no, I just want to make a lot of cash. I want to make a lot of money, and I want to roll all the income and cash flow that I make with eBay into other investments. That way I can have time freedom to where I can travel whenever with whoever I want, when I want, and have complete time freedom. And I've been there before, right? So I've had softwares that have done very well for me, and they broke down. Algorithms changed. Like, people back in the day with Facebook, they're crushing it. Algorithm changes. Now their business is crushed. Now they have to start over, do something different, pivot, right? So I'm in the season where I need to pivot, but I know for sure with eBay, it's going to be an awesome cash flow vehicle where I can get to the next level. And I think eBay is pretty long term. I think reselling is not going anywhere. The only foreseeable thing I see is if there's lockdowns, and then I have to change up my sourcing strategy. Because right now I'm doing a lot of stuff at the bins. And so they try to do another lockdown, it's going to be really, really tough and annoying. But yeah, you might just have to snipe on eBay like our friend did here. Goofy, strapping it. PGR sold a wheelchair. Nice. PGR bits a good one. Nice. I meant you own your house already, have passive income in real estate, and being debt free. Yeah, no, that's even better than going to a restaurant. Best way to be successful here. PGR loaded people buy stuff here. Yeah, they do. They do for sure. They buy on all platforms. But yeah, I mean, eBay for me, like, I for sure want to roll it into real estate. I want to become fully debt free, which, like, I have my car paid off. I actually have a bunch of stuff paid off. I don't have a bunch of debt personally. Come to Florida and fudge. Yeah. Florida was where it was at. I live in the worst state for lockdowns. California. The worst place possible. So, but I heard that like my bins were still open during the most severe parts of the lockdown, but like they needed to social distance. And I think they only let like a couple of people at a time at the bins or something. It sounded stupid. But I could see them having lockdowns here for when the elections come again. I don't know. I think that's a whole different thing that I don't want to get into right now. Okay, so let's get into sales, how to get more sales, right? So crazy tangent right there. Let's get into some sales. Let's get into what I'm doing, what my strategy is. Obviously, the seasons are changing, so I'm seeing way more jacket sales, way more sweater sales. I'm seeing a lot more sales in different departments that I haven't been seeing in summer. So during this time, we're not going to really want to pick up as many shirts and polos, obviously, and shorts or swim trunks, because those obviously aren't going to really be selling right now because it's summer's pretty much over. Sorry to break it to you guys, but summer is over. It went really, really fast. I was kind of working the whole time. I did go on vacation, but like it went super fast because I was just like building the business. Arriva Sodrano County. What do you mean by that, my man? Here we didn't even wear masks. Yeah, I know. You are right. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't wear a mask until like I was forced to. And I just photoshopped the card. Like I know some of the people on here are gonna be like, oh, why would you Photoshop the card? Like I photoshopped my vaccine card and got everywhere. El Dorado County was not bad at lockdown. They were lenient here. Yeah, I know like Orange County was a lot better than the head of the serpent here in Hollywood. Sold 3 pairs of Sorel on Labor Day. Seems early, but I'm here for it. That's awesome, man. Yeah, so I just sold a Mountain Hardwear jacket, Goose Puffer, and sold for, I think I got $100 offer for it. I just sold a blazer too. So blazers are doing pretty good as well. And what else? Yeah, so I'm getting more hoodie sales, more sweater sales. I'm getting a lot more sales for winter. So we really want to start. Yeah, no, I shouldn't be getting into it here. So I won't. But okay, let's keep going into it. So don't get into politics here. No, I hear you. You'll get banned. I'm just trying not to use any keywords that they'll pick up on. But yeah, no, you're right. You need to try to get sales estates. You need to try sales estates. Yeah, no. Real good clothing there. Yeah, like I don't want to get political, but like if there is a lockdown, I need to expand my Rolodex with where to source, because if there's going to be a place that locks down, it's going to be in California. And so, yeah, like estate sales and flea markets. And I don't know, what do you guys recommend if the bins gets shut down? I don't think it's going to get shut down again. I think the mask may come back, but that is a real problem that, like, I think the only foreseeable issue for me in reselling would be if either I get banned out of nowhere for no reason, because I have been getting a lot of counterfeit claims, like with all that, it's all the hats. It's so crazy. So a lot of my hats are getting taken down. And the only way I see my eBay business in jeopardy is if there's lockdowns where I can't source things, or obviously there's going to be ways around that for sure. Or if I get too many counterfeit claims. I haven't got suspended, which is really good, but I have been getting a bunch of hats getting taken down. But yeah, let's move into strategies on how to really have a really good Q4, because that's really what is the main topic of this broadcast. Thank you guys for tuning in, by the way. And if you haven't already, please like the broadcast just so it gets out to more people. This channel is still super small, but you guys are not small. You guys are awesome. And it's really appreciated. Goofy, my death pile is full of linen still. So I just binned it up and started listing coats, sweaters, and jeans. Not sure if that was smart, but I figure I will have stock to source in February. I mean, if you have the storage for that, that's fine. But yeah, you really should have got the linen in during summer, because linen is like the best thing to list during the summer. All of my linen stuff sold during the summer. Every time I would list linen, it would sell. And it's not like, it is definitely too late, but you'll probably still get sales for linen, even though it's in September. But yeah, if you have the storage for it, I guess you could list it like during spring. But yeah, I'm going heavier on jackets. There will be more lockdowns next year. Yep, I can see that happening. Hey, Tom, how are you? What kind of hats you got taken down? So I was getting counterfeit claims on hats that were not counterfeit, and like no one would even want to counterfeit those. Like like Panda Express employee hat got a counterfeit claim. Like, who would even create a fake Panda Express hat? Like, no one cares about Panda Express. And it's obviously not counterfeit, because who would counterfeit a Panda Express hat? It was an employee hat that was donated. I listed it on eBay. It got taken down. I don't list any purses because my first Vero was a Coach bag, and at the time I just started. I didn't really know what I was doing, and it probably was counterfeit. It was probably fake, and so that was my first counterfeit item. So after that, no Coach, nothing designer. Even though Coach isn't really designer at all. Like, if you try giving your high maintenance girlfriend a Coach bag, she'll slap you in the face. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, listed that. That was my first Vero. Then it was, I think it was the Panda Express hat. And then it was, I think, car stuff. Like, don't post anything car related. Hats, I think they Vero. I think Ford Veros. I heard some people John Deere get Vero. I'm trying to think what else got taken down. Certain words, like one of my camo like jackets got taken down. They're like, we don't allow pesticides to be sold on eBay. I'm like, this isn't pesticides. This is a jacket. They were like, it got taken down. It was like, we don't allow pesticides to be sold on eBay. I'm like, how is a jacket pesticides? So like, whatever bot they have going on right now is just completely false. It was ridiculous. I'm trying to think what other hats got taken down. So don't post car hats. Don't so don't post counterfeit and don't post like car brands. So a lot of I think I had a Ford hat taken down. John Deere, I think, was taken down. Panda Express and employee hats. I think I had a Starbucks taken down. So I would really stay away from employee hats, car hats, like anything like vehicle related. Don't post that. Really, when it comes to hats, just do mall brand hats. So like Polo Ralph Lauren does fine. Really high ASP sales for Polo Ralph Lauren hats, like $28. You can list for $28, $25 for Polo Ralph Lauren. Post like mall brand clothing like Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, Gap, Hurley. All the bread and butter items that we post on for our clothing, like all the lower tier item, mall brand clothing items, if there is a hat in that brand, you can for sure post that. But I would really stay away from employee stuff, vehicle stuff. I'm trying to think other ones, even construction stuff. I think like Cat got verified for someone, but I'm trying to think. But I think that was it for the hats. Just literally, just if you're gonna post a hat, just make sure it's like the mall brand clothing type hats. Like I said, like Tommy Hilfiger, Hurley, Harley, all the surfer brands are fine. Calvin Klein, J. Crew, Polo Ralph Lauren, Brooks Brothers, all those hats will do fine. So when I'm sourcing hats, it's just gonna be the mall brand things that we all know about. Like I said, like Tommy Hilfiger, all that stuff. Polo Ralph Lauren. If I had a shipload of Polo Ralph Lauren hats, I'd be thrilled. Like, those sell for me really well. Hats are a little bit, they take a little bit longer to sell, but there's such good profit that it doesn't really matter for me. And I can so for clothing, I can fit like 20 to 30 in one box. For hats, I can fit like 70 in one box. And I usually get unstructured hats. And so it's just the same way. It's just in a bag. And since it's a like a dad hat, it's unstructured. So it's really easy. You just do it the same way. It's really, really easy to store. And they just go back to back. And you can fit literally 70 in one box. So hat storage is a pretty good business model. And at the bins, I find like so many hats every time I go there. You just have to make sure they're not employee, and basically what I just said. Okay. I had a counterfeit. Goofy. I had a counterfeit on a stupid planter fascist sock. I'm like dyslexic and I can't really read. So Probably pronounced it wrong. I fought it and the company apologized and lifted it. I probably should go in and fight everything, but I feel like they're not. I feel like there's like something that's crawling and like there's like this bot that's like reporting items, and I don't know. I mean, when these were getting taken down, I think for sure I've seen a huge slowdown in my sales, but I haven't been like fighting it. Maybe I should. Maybe I should like reach out to the companies and spend the time to call eBay, but I haven't been calling eBay at all. I haven't gotten suspended. Just things have been getting taken off my store. So, and I'm not like getting warnings like this is your last warning. It's different. I'm getting the counterfeit, because usually the counterfeit like claim, it would be like, this is your last counterfeit. This is your last warning. For the things that have been getting taken off, it's like, you don't need to do any more action. We just took it off. So I don't really know what's going on. It's really weird. I haven't been too concerned about it because I know a lot of other people in the eBay community are having a bunch of things getting taken down, but they're not like getting suspended. I know one guy did, but I think in his situation, it was valid for like the Harley Davidson patch. I don't think you're allowed to say that if it's not the actual brand when it comes to patches. PGR, what I was trying to tell you was that a good way to be successful in the reselling model business is to be financially free first, so you don't have to run your business with a short time vision. Yeah, no, 100%. That's why, what I preach is like for instance, my grandma wanted to get into reselling, and she was like, should I just like quit my job and just like go all in? Because she's like, was seeing my 90-day total, which is so deceiving. She's like, oh my God, you made $35,000 in 90 days. Like, I'm going to quit everything and do it. And it's like, it's so deceiving. That 90-day total is extremely deceiving. And I was like, nope, that's not what you should do at all. And so I made my own course and like sent her it for free. And I was just like, this is how you want to do eBay. So I sent her like a 2-hour video of me just explaining eBay. And the last thing you want to do is basically like quit anything, like have a really good source of income. Obviously, if you're retired, PGR, that's great. Not everyone's retired. Not everyone's financially free already. And so the best thing you can do is to have a nice stream of income already, and then do eBay on the side until it replaces your full-time income by double. So my mentor, Jim Rohn, he says, work part-time on your dream and I forget what he said, but basically he's like, work part-time on yourself and full-time. I'm butchering it so bad right now. I'm sorry. I haven't been personally developed in a little bit. I've just been grinding out eBay basically. But essentially what he's saying, he's like, make twice as much in your business. So have 2 times the revenue coming in, and then you can consider stopping your part-time or full-time income. So let's say you're making like $1,000 a week at your job. If you're going to even think about quitting your job, make 2 or 3 times more in profit per week than what your job offers. Then you can consider switching over, but still it's risky. And you would still want a massive savings account, like at least a year's worth of savings for your rent, mortgage, expenses, food, everything before you think about. I think doing eBay part-time is pretty good because you can make a good amount. You can easily make like $3,000 or $4,000 profit on eBay. I think anyone can do that. And so you just have to be smart about it, guys. And so if you're going to go all in on eBay, I probably went too early. Yes, I'm well-versed in business and making sales. Like if I really wanted to, I could sell different things online, like whether it's website or video editing or whatever. Like I could go back to that where like, hey, $500, $1,000, $2,000, I'll create your whole Shopify website for you. Like, believe it or not, people do that. And like, that's fun and all. That's how I made my money, like before eBay, and like social media marketing and social media managers and like basically all the stuff Fiverr does. I was doing like one-on-one with people and doing it for them. And I was making really good money. I was making like 6 figures, just like profit doing that, creating my own business, doing Instagram softwares. But, obviously things change, algorithm changes, and Instagram like shadow bans people that use third-party algorithms. We're not going to get into that right now, but that's the business I made before eBay. It was working really, really good, and then things changed, and so I had to pivot my career, pivot my business. eBay is not my end goal. It's just it's for me to basically create awesome cash flow so I can reinvest that into future things. Goofy, my claim had a contact email for the company, so it was pretty easy. Sounds like your situation was a bit different. Yeah, they didn't give me any email or anything. It was just, we have taken down your listing. We don't allow pesticides sold on eBay. And I'm like, how is this pesticides? This is literally a military jacket. So super weird. And it's not giving me warnings, because I've had counterfeit claims where they're like, this is your warning, you may not know. Actually, no, the Veros are the ones where they're like, I'm actually on my last thing. Like, if I get one more Vero, I'll get a 3-day account suspension. That happened maybe like 4 months ago. I've been good. But yeah, like the Vero was for like a Starbucks hat that wasn't counterfeit. It's just weird. Maybe I should fight those, but I don't know. Every moment you're out of your typical 9 to 5, you have to invest that free time into what you actually like doing and build it. From Frank, thank you for the comment. Every moment you are out of your typical 9 to 5, you have to invest that free time into what you actually like doing and build it. Yeah. So that's basically what Jim Rohn talks about. He's basically saying, like, I think this is it. He's like, work full-time. Oh, work part-time on your job. No, work full-time on your job and part-time on your fortune. Yeah, that's what it was. Sorry, guys. Work full-time on your job, part-time on your fortune. So all the extra time, instead of going to Netflix, partying, clubbing, all that stuff, use all that extra time to build something so you can have financial freedom in the future, to live a life that we all desire. And I think every single person here, as long as you don't quit and you're spending your time wisely, we all have 24 hours in a day. We have the same amount of time that let's just say Elon Musk has. Like, we have the same amount of time Elon Musk has, right? We all have 24 hours in a day. It's just how we decide to choose those hours within our day. And so are we doing bad habits that are hindering our success? Like, sometimes you have to give up things to get to the next level. So we should all ask ourselves, what are some things that we need to give up in our life to get to that next level, to have a huge breakthrough? With eBay, I was stuck around $5,000 per month, and I was sourcing bread and butter items, mall brand items, $5 to $10 profit per item. I was making like I said, like maybe $5,000 a month, maybe like 2.5 to 3,000 profit. And I was just like, all right, so for things to change, I need to change, and I need to become better at eBay. So I was like, what do I need to do to become better, right? So I got really into brand research, studying brands, researching comps, and really expanding my Rolodex. Because when I would go to the bins, I knew my brands, right? I knew the brands that worked for me, but if we're constantly expanding our Rolodex, we're constantly expanding the new brands that we put into our subconscious, because all those brands are there. When we go out sourcing, you know how many brands we're missing out on? Do you know how many tags and items that we've seen and we passed on it because we weren't an expert and we didn't have a good, well-versed, well-rounded Rolodex? Well, what happens is when you do an hour a day of research, and I've been doing those videos lately, I've also been doing lives on like how I research items as well. When we spend our time researching items, learning new brands, they're already at the thrift stores. We're already spending the time flipping them over and looking at them, right? And so if we become more well-versed and more well-rounded with the brands that we decide to pick up, we will, with our time that we have. So let's say like I spend an hour, let's say like the old me, I spent 1 hour at the Goodwill bins. I only got like 20 items, right? Because maybe I was passing up on thousands of really good brands, right? Now that I'm doing 1 hour per day researching Now I'm learning new brands. I'm looking at the tag. So I'm looking at comps. I'm looking at solds. What are items that are selling right now over $35 in specific brands? Or you can just do a generalized search. Like you just type in winter jacket and then you use the eBay filters, anything over $35, everything used. And you just look at what's selling right now. What is selling right now over $35? I mean, we can do it right now if you guys want to see it, but just like a simple search. And what happens when you do this brand research every single day, you start to learn new brands or different nuances of certain brands that do well, and stacking different factors, right? Stacking things that actually are going to create a higher ASP sale. We can only do that by researching, expanding our Rolodex, expanding our horizon, learning new brands. PGR, if 9 to 5 would make people rich, we would all be rich. Absolutely. PGR, I need 48 hours a day. Yes, we all need 48 hours per day. It's extremely important. So, I mean, so how do we get more time? We wake up earlier, we sleep less, we stop doing the bad habits. Obviously, we want good sleep, probably minimum 6 hours of sleep, right? How many people sleep 12 hours a day in this planet? A bunch of people. Sleep 12 hours and they're like, I don't have enough time in my day. Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You're sleeping for 12 hours. And so we need to control our time and get more time, right? So that's getting rid of bad habits. It's, quitting things like maybe Netflix is taking 2 hours of your life every single day. Maybe it's video games. I'm not sure what it is. If our goal right now is to get rich and financially successful, we can play the video games later on when we have good cash flow. But for right now, I think it's smart that we devote the time that we do have into building something long-term, something sustainable, something that's going to last a while, and really building a really, really good business. I think I have like 800 items right now that I think are really, really good items, like gold items that I know are going to sell within the next 30 to 60 days, right? But what about the rest of the items? A bunch of them are garbage. And so it's really important for me to spend all the time that I would watch Netflix and learning new brands and putting in good items in my store. That is what we need to do. We need to put good items in our store. And eBay is really easy when you put in good items and when you learn good brands, when you learn different factors that create a good sale, right? So for instance, like chambray in itself does good with almost any brand. Like if you type in comps for Gap, chambray, button up, they sell for good money, like $24. Even though Gap is a terrible brand, chambray shirts within Gap do very well. You wouldn't know that if you didn't do the research. Does anyone else have any so for instance, like I just said, chambray is really good in almost any brand. Like just a Gap shirt that's chambray can sell for like $25. Does anyone else have anything like that where it's just like one little nuance? It could be in any brand. It could apply to any brand or a brand that we would think sucks. One little nuance can make the item super high ASP. Like for instance, like a Polo Ralph Lauren polo shirt that's just plain sucks, doesn't sell for much money. There's not really a demand for it right now. But a polo shirt with a big pony with like a United States patch in the back or like a 3 on the side does really, really good. It's just a simple little nuance that really demands more money. It's more rare. And like, for instance, like a Polo Ralph Lauren long sleeve, yeah, they're pretty good, but a Polo Ralph Lauren long sleeve that has the stripes, that has big patches, does really, really, really well. Yeah, cashmere, house to home resell, welcome to the live. Yeah, cashmere, pretty much anything is gonna sell. Like I've sold Kirkland in cashmere, and so cashmere, pretty much anything sells really, really well. And if anyone comes across like blazers that are cashmere, I would really consider picking it up because they do really well. I just sold a blazer today for like, I think $85. And it's a brand that I never saw before, but I looked it up in the bins. And I wouldn't be like, you shouldn't be like afraid to look up an item at the bins, like in front of other people. It doesn't matter. Who cares what they think? They don't affect your bank account. All that matters is that if our bank account is going up and our profit margins are going up. Like, yeah, it'd be cool to say, oh, I love eBay because I just want to provide such a good service and just provide the best clothing for my customers. Like, yes, that's true, but like, that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this to make way more profit. And yeah, I want to increase my margins in my favor. I don't want eBay. I mean, I have nothing against eBay, right? But like the goal is to make as much profit and to have as much margin as possible. That way we can actually like live an awesome life. And we don't really want to spend a bunch of time, because like bagging takes a lot of time, driving takes a lot of time, spending 5 hours a day at the bins takes a lot of time. If we're going to spend the time to get items, we got to make sure that they're really high profit margins. We need to make sure that we're making the most amount of money possible within the items that we get, or it's really just not worth it. Like right now, a lot of the people that were doing the volume model are changing to the higher ASP model because it's just not worth it. Who wants to list 50 items a day, 100 items a day, 250 items a day for really, really low profit margins? It's not worth your time. And you can make the same amount of money, if not more, just finding higher ASP items. So if you guys are watching this right now, what are some really high ASP items? What are some awesome sales that you've had recently that you're really happy with? So yeah, for me recently, Mountain Hardwear puffer jacket for $100+. Sold a blazer today for like $85. Let's see what else. I'm getting sales right now on the live. I think I had 3 sales since the live, and been incorporating a more intense markdown. So like a 20% store-wide markdown on all my items and a 30% coupon. But if you're doing that on items that are already like marked up really high, I mean, like I'm at the bins, it costs me like $3 per item. So I'm still making like over $30 ASP, even with those intense markdown strategies. And so let's see what I've been selling recently. But if you guys had some really good sales recently, let me know. And I would like to know what's selling for you. What are some really good items for a higher ASP that you guys have sold recently? I'll go through all of them right now. And thank you guys once again for tuning in. If you like this content, make sure you like it. It'll motivate me to make more lives like this, and it'll also boost it out. So yeah, my sports coat sold for $100 today. Let's share the screen here. So my volume is a lot less, so I'm not selling as much volume, but I'm pretty much making the same amount of profit, if not more, because I'm just selling things for higher. All right. So ALO is a really good brand. I could have sold this for more, but I forget what I think it was $12 offer. Taylor Bird for I really like this. I'm kind of pissed because I actually like this and I wish it didn't sell. And the things that you really wish don't sell always sell. Okay, let me share the right tab. So this is what it looks like. It has a really cool paisley print and had 100% sell-through rate. I usually don't pick up blazers, but if you see a cool blazer like this, like always just look up the sell-through rate. Taylor Bird, I've never heard of it before, but when I looked up the sell-through rate, it had like 100%, and they were all selling for like, you know, like over $50, $100. But this is what I'm talking about, like, and this is unstructured, so there's no like padding on the shoulders. I know Hugo Boss blazers do really well. Ralph Lauren, even Ralph Lauren blazers do really well. Ted Baker does really well. So don't sleep on the blazers. They do pretty good. And always look up sell-through rate, obviously, and look at the size. Like this is a 44R. The size is usually always on the inside pocket. It's always like on the pockets, like right here. There's 2 pockets. Usually the size tag's in there. And let's see what the size tag was. 44R. And make sure your nails are cut. It's disgusting. Sorry, guys. All right. All right, let's keep going. What is assorted? It might not be assorted, but it had a Ralph Lauren logo on it. What is assorted? It might not be assorted, but it had a Ralph Lauren logo. What do you mean, Notorious One? I'm not sure what that is. But let's keep going here. Frank Arcia. Sorry if I said that wrong. I look up things all the time at the bins. That's part of the learning process. Yeah, you could actually just do all of your brand research instead of eBay. Yes, you could go and look up comps and stuff, which is great. And I'll show you guys that in a second how to do it. But you can just go to the bins and learn everything. Like going and learning by experience is the best way to learn sometimes. And so going to the bins, looking up items, if something feels good, once you like become more proficient and more like well versed in fabrics, you can feel something. Like I know what Lululemon feels like. Like if I don't see the logo, if I don't see a tag, I'm like, okay, this is Lululemon. Now let's try to find the Lululemon logo just to verify that it is. Merino, extra fine merino wool has a certain touch to it. Really high quality brands have a certain touch to it, feeling to it. And cashmere obviously has a certain feeling to it. And when you become well versed, you can always spot it really fast. And that's really good to know. So you can only learn that through experience through the bins. So yeah, I think the bins is a really good learning experience. And looking up things at real time is great. Listing 250 items a day sounds insane, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think anyone solo can do that. I think you're going to have to hire people for that. But I know people like Tech and Sports, I think, got up to like 150 solo per day, which sounds absolutely terrifying. I used to feel uncomfortable looking up comps at Goodwill because I thought the store managers didn't like resellers. Now I know it's the opposite. Yeah, I mean, like, they're making money from you, so it doesn't really matter. Like you're their customer. So I don't think it really matters because like at the end of the day, they have it priced for what it is and you are the customer. Goodwill is actually our competition, believe it or not. They're like cool competition because they underprice things and we can arbitrage the market. You know, people talk about like trading arbitrage and like retail arbitrage, but like the used market, crazy arbitrage. And that's basically just finding things for really low and selling it for really high, which is what Warren Buffett talks about. And within the stock market, it's like the same thing. You buy stocks when they're really low and you sell when they're really high. And that's basically what we do. But we have, instead of just the little paper virtual stocks that we buy, we have physical assets that can actually, they won't just like go bankrupt. Like I guess eBay could go bankrupt, but I don't think reselling is going anywhere anytime soon unless they like instate some new law, but I don't think that's happening, guys. House to home resell. I sold a pair of Ralph Lauren jeans I picked up at TJ Maxx, yellow tag for $10. They sold for $150. They were patchwork and graphic. That's amazing. Great job. And I've done like Nordstrom rack like arbitrage, but I bought those items because I guess it's not arbitrage, but I bought like a bunch of stuff like maybe 2 years ago at Nordstrom rack, and then like I just listed basically like my wardrobe and it all sold. I didn't make like profit, but that's like the extent of my like retail arbitrage. But that's amazing. House to home resale, that's amazing. Revis, I'm learning baseball bats also make really good profit. Yeah, absolutely. And like I'm just doing clothing, but I have nothing against picking up like technology or baseball bats. If that's what you're into, like I have nothing against that. You could also always just put it on OfferUp. That stuff sells super fast. And you can get straight cash, straight profit for it. But I just wouldn't even know how to ship a baseball bat. I just really stick to my own lane, guys. I just do clothing. But I have nothing against, you know, finding technology or, you know, golf or whatever. Frank, thank you for tuning in. I like specifically for men's. I look for men's vintage shirts, and as soon as I touch a quality shirt, I can just tell by the feel of it and its weight. I actually that's great. Like that's see like you know exactly what it feels like. You know that certain fabric, the touch, the quality. I'm actually not a professional in vintage shirts, so that's something that I am working on. The good thing about my bins, I guess it's good and bad, but if I were a vintage person where I just source vintage stuff, I would get crushed at my bins because I have like an automated table, so it's like going up. Okay, let's bring it down. The standing table is awesome, by the way. It was the best investment ever. But Frank, yeah, like if I was a vintage guy where I specifically just do vintage shirts, I would get crushed because everyone at my bins, they're vintage people, and that's basically the main competition. There isn't really a bunch of me at my bins. Like the person that's just looking for I wouldn't say I'm a vintage guy. Like I said, I'm like more of a mall brands, but I'm looking at the highest ASP items within like that mid range. And there isn't really a bunch of those people like me. I'm also like there's like I'm competing with like people that kind of just like get everything and then they just like throw it into their bins, and they're probably like flea market type sellers, so they're really based on volume, but they don't necessarily get the best brands. And so I'm really just like my goal is just going, and this is what changed the game for me. This is really the main nugget of this. If you guys are close, I mean, this could apply with anything, guys. But what really changed the game for me was instead of sourcing 1 or 3 times a week, I'm going pretty much every single day now. And I am just sourcing 20 of the highest tier, highest ASP gold items that I can possibly find. I discard all the mid and low end stuff. I pass up on a bunch of stuff every single day. All the stuff that I used to pick up, I would say like half of my business is like mid and low stuff, maybe even a little bit more of half of my business is because all my good stuff sells pretty fast. So I would say like maybe like 65% of my store is really bad stuff. It sells slow. But what really changed the business for me is going pretty much every single day and sourcing 20 super high ASP items. And that's really what increased my ASP and my sales. I'm selling less per day, but I am making like the same, if not more profit. So I get more time. I actually just hopped off I'm helping someone in the YouTube community with like their coaching, and I did like a Zoom call for their team, and I basically just did like a beginner call. So this is like my second hour of talking. So that's why I keep drinking, because my voice is like coming out here. So we'll just go a little bit longer here, guys. But I love it. Like I get fired up talking to you guys. If you guys have any other like how to increase your sales, what's working for you, you don't have to give us too much. But if there's certain brands or certain things working out for you, just so we can talk about it, I'm happy to extend this a little bit longer. But my voice is kind of almost like shot here shortly. But let me know what you guys are doing right now for Q4. Let me know what you think would be smart for myself to implement in Q4. What we should do as a whole, and yeah, let's keep going. And if you guys haven't shot the live a thumbs up, please do it. It'll help a lot, and it'll help this YouTube channel get out some more people. I don't monetize. Like I can turn on my ads and stuff. Because of you guys, I was able to get monetized in 1 month, like crazy numbers. And honestly, like really, I really appreciate you guys. I'm not going to turn it on right now. I don't have a desire to turn it on right now. I've also had people reach out to me, like sponsors, like Gyro Pack. I shouldn't even mention their name because I'm not even sponsored by them, but they want me to talk about them, and I'm already talking about them, which is kind of stupid on my part. But I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to unless I really resonate with it. Like, I don't know. It's got to be a certain sponsor that I really resonate with. I like health related stuff, but it's actually got to be healthy. Like it's got to be like good stuff, right? So like those types of sponsors I could be interested in, but I don't know. I'm not sponsored by anyone. This is just all free content, guys. Like, I'm just doing this freely to help you guys create a community here. I'm just doing this to create a community, honestly. And so this fires me up. And so I really appreciate your engagement. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your comments, and it means a lot to me. And yeah, thank you. Okay, notorious one. Does Polo ever have Ralph Lauren logo? Because the one I found didn't say Ralph Lauren, but it had a Polo Ralph Lauren logo. So if you're talking about a spell out, I mean, maybe some of the vintage ones do, but in the tag, if it's vintage, it'll have like a blue tag with silver writing. But yeah, I mean, if you want to message me on Instagram and send me the tag, like I can help you out there. But all the Ralph Lauren, Polo Ralph Lauren ones that I see, they have like a tag that just says Polo Ralph Lauren or Ralph Lauren Golf or Polo Sport. But you said does not have Polo Ralph Lauren logo because the one I found didn't say Ralph Lauren, but it had it. Just shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll look at it right after here. Just Reseller Tom on Instagram. You can reach out to me personally. And you can send me a photo of the tag or whatever. But it should be fun, man. No, there's not too many like counterfeit Polo Ralph Lauren. Like it's not like a brand like Supreme or anything like that. It's kind of a lower end brand, unless like it's like they're very rare stuff, like they're Western stuff and they're Indian print stuff. Just a Polo button with a Ralph Lauren logo. Yeah, just send me the tag, but it should be fine. If you had to find if you find a triple G hat, it'll sell the next day. That's what happened to me at Boxing Hat. Thank you for that. Yeah, I didn't know that. So thank you for that, notorious one. House to home resale. I haven't done much retail arbitrage. I usually go to Goodwill or my local SPCA thrift store. My bins is about an hour away and it's so hot. Yeah, mine was really, really hot too the other day, and people were complaining, and he's just like, what do you want me to do? Like, it is what it is. Like, let me just take all your guys' money. They make a lot of money at the bins. It's crazy. They have repeat customers every single day. They easily make their rent on day one. They probably underpay their employees. I don't really know, though. This is just speculating. I know they are pretty cool with hiring like people that it's harder for them to find work, like people that have like if they're like felons and stuff like that, they will hire people where no one kind of hires them, but Goodwill will, but they probably underpay them. But they make so much money, it's insane. Like they could easily turn on their air condition. They make so much cash. It's insane. They have the same customers every single day. They have repeat customers, and they have people that do flea market. Like they fill up like 3 carts full of like clothes, and it's just like insane money. But I mean, I like the Goodwill bins. It's no, yeah, for me it's like 20, 30 minutes away. It's not that far. If it was like an hour or 2 hours away, I feel that like that would suck. But it would probably still be worth it. You would just have to like wake up early and take that drive, and it is a long commute, but it could be worth it depending on what your goals are. But I know the thrift, if you have a good thrift route and you have your stores locked down, I mean, people make their full-time income just going to thrift stores. Like I know someone in the clothing game that just does thrift stores. He doesn't do the bins, maybe occasionally, but he just like his cost of goods are a little higher, like $5-7, but he finds items that sell for like $40 on average, $30-40. So everyone's situation is a little different, and there's no right or wrong way. It's just whatever works for you. Do you actively pick while waiting for rotations, or do you just wait on a freshman? By Frank. Really good question. And yeah, I'm always like, I don't take any breaks. The only break that I take is if I eat something halfway through, but I'm someone that works harder than everyone else. And so when everyone's sitting around chatting, waiting for the next bin to come out, I'm just finding everything that everyone slipped on. because obviously all the vintage people, they slip on great items all the time, but that's not their goal. Their goal is for vintage stuff only. So if they see like an Eileen Fisher item, they're not going to pick it up because I'm not sure what they do. I don't know if they sell it on eBay or if they like go somewhere like a resale shop, like a buy and sell shop. I don't know what they do. If anyone knows what the vintage people do, like do they sell it on eBay or do they go to like stores to like sell it to people? I'm not sure what they do exactly. Obviously some of them probably go to eBay, but I also think some of them, because I also see like people paying other people in cash. It seems like there's like drug lords, like people that like have all the money and they're like, all right guys, find everything, I'll pay you cash on the spot for the items that you find. There's some of that going on. There's probably some eBay going on, but I know they miss on a bunch of stuff. And so when everyone's waiting around talking with each other, looking at their clothes, looking at defects or whatever, I am constantly walking around. I probably walk like 5 miles a day, 10 miles a day, because I don't stop. I'm just constantly sorting through like a madman, just trying to find my 20 to 30 per day. And that's crazy, guys. Like think about that. Like I'm running around, not running, but I'm just like walking around for like sometimes 5 hours a day just to find 20 to 30 items. Probably not 5 hours, probably like sometimes, honestly, sometimes it takes me 1 hour. Sometimes it takes me 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. I'd say it's probably max 3 to 4 hours, but I'm only shooting for like 20 to 30 items per day, to be honest. And they're like, oh, I'm shooting for things that are over $30, $40. I saw in bun and like, I'm not like complaining. Like I don't like not like it. Like I don't dread going to the bins, to be honest. Like if I were to dread going to the bins, I probably just wouldn't do eBay, to be honest. Jamie Bailey, welcome. Thank you for your comment here. I sell in bundles when my sales are down. They usually go quick. Yeah, that's really smart. I was kind of thinking about doing some bundles for my button-up shirts and like all the stuff that's sitting around. I feel like that would be a smarter way to go about it because I'm sitting on like 200 button-up shirts right there, and they've just been sitting there. Like they just sell so slow. But I feel like if I did a huge bundle deal, it would be really, really smart. So I think that's a really good idea, and thank you for that. Frank, what's your opinion on Whatnot? I'm thinking of hopping on it, but on that platform, you have to go full in. Yeah. So I'm not sure. Like to be honest, like I know nothing about Whatnot, so I'm not going to be here like saying like, oh, I'm an expert at Whatnot. This is exactly what you should do. But from an outside perspective, it seems like Whatnot is something where it helps if you already have some type of presence, online presence. It really, really helps. It seems like if you already have like a YouTube channel or an Instagram and you do it, it just seems that's like from an outside point of view, that's what it seems like. It would work a lot better if you had a big fan base already established. And then I feel like it works really, really well for them. Like all the bigger YouTubers, it's really easy for them to do Whatnot because they already have a really big audience. And so it's a lot easier for them to sell through things. If you have zero audience, that's why eBay is awesome, because you could be ugly like me. And no, I'm just kidding. You could be like, eBay is awesome because you could have 0 followers. You could roll around in your sweatpants. You could have horrible skin, horrible hair, and you could just crush it on eBay because eBay doesn't care about any of that stuff. You could have 0 followers and crush it on eBay. I feel like Whatnot, there's a lot more that goes into it. You need to have more of a following, or you have to establish one if you start from scratch. I'm not sure what the organic reach is on Whatnot. So if you tell me Whatnot's incredible, you can just go on and your first show, you're going to have like 20 organic viewers just right off the bat, then yes, it's probably a good idea. But I don't think that's how it is. I feel like you have to establish an audience over time. Like if you're just going in from scratch, I feel like it's going to be tough, but I don't really know. I could be completely wrong. But that's just kind of what I see. Could be wrong, but it seems like you need to already have an established fan base. I don't know what the organic reach is on Whatnot if you were to just start with no followers. So Frank, thank you for the question. I'm not too sure because I'm just doing eBay right now. I'm not cross posting or anything like that. Just doing eBay. Notorious One, thank you for all your ADI passes. Thank you for all your ADI passed it up. I messed up. Hold on. First, I wanted to say thank you for all the advice, and I didn't buy the pullout. Oh, I see what you're saying. And anytime, man, this is what this channel is for, just to help you guys out. That's it. Because I get fulfillment with just helping others. And I feel like there's a universal law. When you help others and when you don't ask for anything in return, I feel like it's just like a karmic blessing. And so you can say whatever you want, right? So you can say like you can, whether it's karma or sowing what you reap, there's so many different ways to say it. But I feel like I said, I don't expect anything in return from you guys. I just do this freely. I want to help you guys. It's fulfilling, to be honest. Sorry, my sentences aren't making sense. It's all good, Notorious One. My sentences aren't making sense either because I'm burnt out on lives. Because this is I think I've been going on for 3 hours right now. That's what's fun about reselling. We all have our interests. Just go for it. We all know the information all the time. The Sour One, shut up. I get delirious after 4 hours at the bins. I start laughing, acting silly, and my daughter gets very serious. It's really funny. We just have a lot of fun. No, that's great. And yeah, like I think 4 hours is a max for me. Okay. Sour One, are you gay? I actually have a girlfriend, but appreciate it. You look sexy. Thank you. Appreciate it. Francisco, I sell on 4 different platforms, eBay included, but my sales are slow either way. What are your thoughts? Sorry, I have to reread this. I sell on 4 different platforms, eBay included, but my sales are slow either way. What are your thoughts? So this is very common. And, people are like, oh, well, my sales are so slow, so let me just cross list. But that's just like putting a Band-Aid on the issue, right? And so like if you have your engine light on, right? And your car's like, okay, the engine light is on and you need to fix this engine ASAP, but you just put like a Band-Aid over the light. And so you can't see it anymore. Is it actually fixed? No, it's absolutely not fixed, right? So we have to make sure that we're actually going to the root cause. So what is the root cause if your items don't sell on any platform? It's the items that you're putting in your store are just not desirable. They're not in demand, and they're just bad items. It's just that simple. Like I said, eBay is really, really easy when you just put in really good items, like really desirable gold items. So for instance, chambray Polo Ralph Lauren button-up shirt. Desirable item, sells really, really fast. It's a good item. Chambray is like that denim jean fabric for button-ups. For pretty much any brand, it does really well in. Like even J. Crew, Calvin Klein, Gap, Polo Ralph Lauren. That's like a thing that can apply for any brand basically, and it'll do well. So like to fix your platform problem, you have to fix the root problem, which you need to make sure you're just putting in really good items. How do you know? You have to look up sell-through rate. I know everyone says it, but it's so true. You have to look up the sell-through rate, and you have to see like how many you're selling within 90 days. And if there's only like 2 sold in 90 days, probably don't pick it up because you may not get the sale for a while. It might be 90 days from that point. So you want to try to find items that have good sales within 90 days. And you have to make sure you price it accordingly. And yeah, look up sell-through rate and make sure the ASP on that item's higher so you make more profit. You don't want to do all this work and not make good profit. Sour One, you were cool, bro. Thank you, man, for being cool. Dude, Sour One, no worries at all. Thank you. Frank, most vintage guys genuinely like that category before getting into selling. So that's so there's that gray area with them and attach with and attached with items. That's why you see strange cash deals. Interesting. Yeah. So I see a lot of cash deals, and I also feel like they sell it to different stores. I'm not sure what they do. I've never talked to them. They're very to themselves. I bet they're really cool people. I feel like if I just like went up to them and talked to them, they would be super cool. It's just like everyone's kind of to themselves in reselling because we all just like, I guess we're all competitors, but like there's so much abundance and money in this world. Like the government printed out like trillions of dollars. Like there's plenty of money to go around for everyone. So yes, we're competitors, but we can all help each other, and we do all help each other. And there's unlimited amount of used clothes in the market. Like, do you guys know how much clothing, like bangers, gold items, are just in the underneath the soil right now? Like, do you know how many bangers, good items, are locked away in like farms or like barns? Do you know how many good items are in the landfill right now? It's insane. Like, there's so much. There's millions and millions of pretty much like there's probably a million of these shirts made, right? So there's so many of these shirts, and pretty much every single brand, they make like millions of the same thing. So there's enough to go around for everyone, guys. And also, not everyone is as hungry as us. Like, you guys are spending your time right here, right now. You probably have pretty good goals. Sour one, LOL. Sour one, you are good looking. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Frank, good items absolutely sell themselves. Just have to have a half decent title and it'll sell itself. Yeah. So if you find really good items, it will sell itself. I was looking at comps the other day, and there's items that have no measurements, really bad title, but they still sell with like 2 pictures because it's just that desirable. It's that much of a gold item. And if you guys want, we can kind of go through some jackets that are selling right now, like winter jackets that are doing really good, high ASP jackets, good brands. If you guys want to see that, I can screen share it. If not, I'm going to probably hop off here shortly because my voice is kind of running out. But if you guys want to see some banger jacket sales that were sold today, just overall on eBay, we can look together to see what's selling right now and see why they're selling for why they are. But I would say jackets are going to start selling really well soon. Well, they already are. So if you guys want to see that screenshot, let me know. If not, going to probably hop off here shortly. But if I were to do it, would be anything over $40 to I don't know, 500. We can see what's selling in that range right now, and that way you guys can get a better idea what to pick up. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. I can do that. Woo! All right. But yeah, Frank, you're absolutely right. Frank, you also need to understand the audience between different platforms because they don't all target the same customer. You also need to understand the audience between different platforms because they don't all target the same customer. Yeah, you're right. Like, I know Depop is more like, I'm like talking like I just know what Depop is, but I'm pretty sure it's more like trendy stuff, like younger stuff, more like super trendy, and younger kids use it. So yeah, you're right. Different platforms, you can sell for more ASP on different platforms, but eBay, it's for sure lower ASP, but I would say there's more traffic and more potential volume and sales on eBay. More likely to sell it on eBay than Poshmark. I read this. It doesn't even feel like you've been live for 3 hours. Enjoy your live. Thank you. Oh, appreciate it, my man. Yeah, I mean, like, I can get fueled. Like, I barely even ate today, right? So like, I'm into energy, right? Like, you can get energy from different things. Some people get energy from surfing. Some people get energy from hiking, right? Like, you can just get energy from different things. Frank, I think of that all the time. I sometimes look at the bins and just think, man, I wonder how many grails are just sitting here, but I cannot find them, and will end up in the baler and destroyed. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Like, the amount of things we pass up on every single day is absolutely incredible. and it's pretty unfortunate. Like, do you know how many like Arc'teryx like puffer jackets get thrown away every day? It's just like it's sad to think about. And I've probably passed on so many good things like just within the last 24 hours. It's crazy to think about. And that's why it's really good to be healthy and to be focused and to take care of yourself and have good sleep, because if you're thrown off, if you're tired, groggy, even if you're like hungover and like you're not feeling good, you're gonna miss up on so much money. It's costing you so much money to have an unhealthy lifestyle. And so by being healthy and focused, well fed, have some caffeine, whatever it is, it's important to be focused and to be clear minded so you don't pass up on a bunch of stuff. And that way you have more energy, like flipping through everything, because you can get burnt out pretty fast flipping through a bunch of things at the bins. Like, I always have to eat like halfway through my bins because I feel like my energy is like depleted and I need some food right now. And yeah, have a good night, everyone. Keep up the good videos, my man. Thank you, Frank. Yeah, if you guys have any last second questions or anything for me, let me know. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any last second questions, anything, any concerns with, if you have any sales questions, let me know. And I can handle that for you guys. But if not, we will end it here right now. I will just show this really fast just before we close off here. But here are some jackets that are selling. These are some good brands. North Face Thermoball quilted jacket for $60. Canada Goose hybrid. I feel like this person really undersold it for $150. Patagonia insulated like winter jacket. Nike reversible quilted puffer bomber jacket, 90s. So this is a vintage one. It's really nice. This is how I personally do brand research, by the way, guys. Wow, this is a really cool Lululemon. A hybrid scuba down puffer jacket. I didn't even know Lululemon made puffer jackets. Nickelodeon Rugrats. Wow, that's pretty badass. Yeah, even Columbia, which isn't the best brand, their quilted puffer jackets do insanely good. 800 down. Patagonia. Like, this stuff is going to start really selling here. So anytime you find puffer jackets, even vests do good. It's Ralph Lauren. I mean, like, these are some really good sales. If you want to get your ASP up, even LL Bean, 850 filled goose down jacket. Mountain Hardwear. Like, learning these brands is very important, guys. Outdoor research, North Face. So a lot of North Face, a lot of Mountain Hardwear, even Ralph Lauren. We're seeing a lot of North Face right now. A lot of Patagonia, Harley Davidson. So yeah, that's gonna be it. I sold one just like this very recently, and yeah, it sold for like $100, but they can go for a lot more. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you guys very soon. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Hit the thumbs up, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.